What is going on, everyone? Gary here, FitGaz40. Welcome back to my channel. Primarily, pretty much a second video that I've recorded. And in any case, I think with most people that are starting out with YouTube, it's just a matter about trying to get your bum in the saddle, get your feet in the stirrups, and just get going. I think a lot of people are wanting to make content and wanting to sort of come out with their own ideas, their own agendas, ideologies, wanting to break into a different stratosphere when it comes to becoming well acclaimed on YouTube. But for myself, I think as I said in my first video in which I made, I think the most important thing is for me to really reach out and to extend knowledge to those that are really wanting to understand what it's about when it comes to training, when it comes to diet, lifestyle, um, fashion trends. I'm not really a guru when it comes to fashion, but I think dressing in accordance with what works best for your body type, preferably for your age as well, and really being comfortable in your clothes. I think that's so. In a nutshell, it's me trying to really break into ground where people on the other side of the screen can identify with me and really just feel my heart when it comes to reaching milestones in your life. I'm 42 now, and I think the biggest thing is realizing how to turn chapters in your life, realizing you're not a young spring chicken anymore. You shouldn't choose to do things that you used to do in your early 20s, depending on what it is. But for myself, I've been training since I was 17 years old. And I think a lot of people would have gotten much further than me or have gotten further than me when it comes to the fitness industry. But I just feel I've really been somewhat of a stalwart when it comes to training and the love and the desire for it. I know that throughout my years of training that I really started off in a hardcore gym I'm originally from KwaZulu Natal in the east coast of South Africa. And I started off at a young age at 17. I was in high school at the time. I was just finishing off my high school, and uh, I was a small kid. I think I was around 63 kilos, very slight. I had no sort of direction when it came to my body. I think I had somewhat of identity crisis when it came to my body and wanting to fit in with a certain network of friends. I know at the time rugby was a huge thing, and I just felt I was too small to even participate in rugby. I thought I was going to get absolutely thrashed from a lot of the guys that were playing rugby at the time, and I just thought that is not going to be for me. I pretty much grew up playing cricket and football for some people that are watching soccer, and I really enjoyed it. I think those particular sports I really gravitated towards. I would say more football. Uh, I was a right winger, and I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the camaraderie around it, and especially after a win, and it just felt like I found my place. And then going into high school, I stopped playing sport at around grade 10, I think. And that was primarily just to sort of personal issues in which I was going through at that time. I won't get into that. But the main reason why I left sport and then I completely made a turnaround. And then I put most of my interest into debating and Toastmasters. And I found a good sort of niche because it really stimulated me mentally that I wasn't generally getting from sport. So I think for a time, for about 2 years, I went into debating and Toastmasters, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it was really just a break out of my shell when it came to speaking, and whether it be public speaking, speaking off the cuff. being in different environments with different social networks, different sort of different criteria when it comes to wanting to integrate, not just on your sort of, how do I say this, just your average sort of people that you might necessarily find yourself amongst. So I don't want to say that I was a jack of all trades when it came to um, identifying with different types and groups of people, but I found myself bouncing around. Even in high school, I didn't really find myself in a particular group of people. I was with the surfers. Then the next day, I would have been with the skateboarders. The next day, I would have been with some of the rugby players, and I just sort of circled around different groups of guys. I was never singled out in a particular group, and I think that was a good thing for me. Being uh, how do you call it? I wasn't really an extrovert, but I think I really saw myself as a functioning introvert, if that makes sense. I don't know, but I just felt like I could link with a specific group of people for a specific time, and I could move on to the next group, and then just because I wanted variety in my life. I think that was the biggest thing, is I wanted some form of diversity in my life. And as I said, going through personal issues with in my personal life, which I won't get into, I just felt that I wanted to not be in a specific group at that time. So, um, in any case, I got through high school, and it was near the end of my high school career back in 2000 that my mom got me into training. I was very skinny at the time, and I'll never forget. My mom gave me a she gave me a Sylvester Stallone autobiography book, and I read that thing from cover to cover, and I really was inspired for training, and I think that what got me into lifting weights. I remember I joined my high school had a gym at the time, so it was ample for me to be able to just go after school and just literally chuck a little bit of weights around. Nothing serious. I think I used to do full body training every day, like hit this machine, hit that machine, get a feel for this, get a feel for that. And I had a training partner, not consistent, but I just felt like this is what I could do. I felt like I could really laser in and focus on a specific thing, and that was weight training. And they talk about newbie gains, and that is a real thing. I remember within the first year, I think I picked up about 8 kilos. For me, I thought that was fantastic. And back then, it was like going on to creatine, and all the guys are like, "Are you taking creatine?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like trying to dabble in it." And but the newbie gains are real. And I remember I picked up about 8 kilos in that first year. And I'll never forget, I wrote my last high school exam. And after the exam ended, I remember all the guys getting into their cars, wheels spinning out of the schoolyard. Guys are absolutely going moggy. Last exam, no more high school. This is it, guys. We out of here. And I'm telling you, it was just a puff of smoke, and all my mates were gone in their cars, ready to go. And the place was completely still. And I remember I was the only one in that gym on the final day of exams. And that's where I found myself. And I just felt a real sort of solitude in the gym. And I remember I just went to the gym. I just did a bit of weight training and then walked home after that. I didn't have a car, obviously. I walked home from school, and that was my life. And I think from then on, it was just I just had a deep desire for lifting weights, and not to say I was the strongest guy, but I just enjoyed it, and I generally picked up strength as I went along, but nothing crazy. I think a lot of guys put due to social media, particularly today, I think a lot of people put so much pressure on themselves in trying to reach certain markers when it comes to strength or looking a specific type in a short period of time. but they don't realize that weight training is a marathon. It really is a marathon. And people put so much pressure on themselves. And yeah, we're completely bombarded by social media and these guys that have got amazing bodies and these girls that have got incredible bodies, and it really puts a lot of pressure on young people. It puts a lot of pressure on older people as well. I'm 42, as I said, and I think a lot of the times um, we have false expectation when it comes to what you can get out of weight training, proper nutrition, but not in a short period of time, but over an extended period of time. To think of this, listen here, I'm starting today and I'm going to see how far I can go, but just really enjoy the process. And I think that was something that I'm very grateful for, in the fact that throughout my journey of training, I really stayed consistent throughout that time. I remember there was a period of about, I would say, a year and a half where I didn't train. And I think I was just partying with mates and drinking and late nights. And it was just not good. And I remember at the time I was just completely rashing my mom about getting back into training. And she was like, "You're speaking so much about this. Like, seriously, just get back to gym. Like, I don't want to hear it again. You've been telling me for days, just get back to gym." So in any case, I signed up at the very same gym in which I started, which was at that high school where I was training. It was open to the public as well, so that was perfect. Really low rates, and it was a 24-hour gym. It was fantastic. So then I started my journey again, and I never really stopped. I know I've had a couple of surgeries over the time. I broke my pinky. I tore my my distal tendon, bicep tendon. That was about 7 years ago while I was doing a warrior race, a 10-kilometer obstacle course race, and I tore my bicep. And then I had a lipoma cut out my back, and that was about 2 years ago. So, other than having surgery and having some time off training, if I couldn't train because of surgery, I'd just train my legs. So, I would just continue with training. And if the doctor did say I couldn't train I would take some time off. But other than that, it was literally just I've been going for it. Another thing is this whole influx of TRT and steroids, and I, by the grace of God, I haven't touched steroids my whole life, and I think that's been a saving grace for me. I've really just stayed in my own lane and just, as I said, just trusted the process. I don't have the most amazing body ever. I could be much leaner. Could I be much bigger? Whatever. Who cares? At the end of the day, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy training, and I think to keep a relatively healthy body fat is good. It's good for you, and at the same time, it's just being able to be overall healthy, keep up your cardiovascular endurance, good strength training, just overall connective tissue, lean muscle tissue, um, skeletal frame as well, in order to really have healthy bones, which can only come through strength training. There's a lot of benefits to it, and I think why I've really started this channel is to reach out to those that aren't going to be taken in by the hustle and bustle and the noise of so many voices around, so many people saying many things, and just not causing confusion, but people that are really caught up in the rigmarole of so much information. But I really want to try and break it down as much as I can, try and segment the episodes on my channel as best as possible, and just share my heart when it comes to training, to lifestyle, diet, etc. And maybe if it turns into some vlogging when it comes to me showing my training, if I'm going on holiday, whatever the case may be, and then just loading up a video so that I can touch base with you guys. That's all I want. My main criteria is just to share my heart, not coming from science based, not coming from what data shows, but coming from personal experience and personal time in the trenches. That is the most important thing. And if someone out there is listening, can hear my heart and feel as if, okay, fine, this guy could be onto something, I would be more than appreciative if you can subscribe, hit the like button, and just look forward to more content from me. As I said, whether it'll be me being in the gym, showing you different movement patterns in training, whether it be everyday vlogging, me cooking. I don't really cook; my wife cooks for me, but maybe I can just show you some form of meal prep, um, and then just taking it from there. Whether it be everyday vlogging, speaking from my car, taking it from there. I really just want to open up my life. I've been a personal trainer, and I still am a personal trainer today. And I started personal training back in 2007. It's been a long journey. So on and off, I've been a personal trainer since 2007. So I've had a lot of years behind me. I can write a book just on personal training and the clients that I've had. It's one of the most underappreciated jobs in the world, I would say, honestly. Well, that's my experience. I'm not saying for everyone else, but for myself, I just feel it's very underappreciated. But at the same time, we take it on the chin and we take it for what it is. We're in the service industry, but at the same time, I just feel that I would like to really give a part of myself onto the camera so that I'll be able to inspire, encourage someone, whoever's on the other side. And also, really, I want to be able to create content where anyone can watch from any age. I think that's the most important thing as well. I think a lot of the times people might push the envelope in many areas and the content becomes sort of strained where only a particular group will be able to watch, particular age group, particular ethnicity. I don't know. But for myself, I want to try and make it as broad as possible. And whether it's a 7-year-old kid watching my channel or a 87-year-old, I want everyone to feel not just welcome, but to feel like they're getting something from our channel. I think that's really my heart behind me starting this. So we'll see how things transpire. I know um, my camera's saying it's 18 minutes gone already, but I wanted to really just get a video together and just share my heart on certain things. And then as we go along, I'll sort of segment it much better. I'll break things down and we'll take it video to video. And no pressure from my side. It's really daunting to start something new like this. I'm sure a lot of people experience this, not to say that anyone's exempt. The camera can be quite daunting, but at the end of the day, you have to just get your feet wet and just get started. So, as I said, if anyone's out there listening and you really think you could extract things from my experience in life in general, feel free to subscribe. It'll be a privilege. From my side, it'll be a privilege if you can subscribe and like. And we'll see how things go. So, guys, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening wherever you are. And I will speak soon. Cheers. Bye.